see all of you today, and I wanted to share with you that this past 2 weeks since I found out that my daughter had a bad case of the coronavirus, I have allowed my mind and my thoughts to be on out of control train. And I really started thinking about the tools that we use in yoga and how they can help me to get control of my thoughts and to not spiral out of control. And I was reminded of Gandhi's quote, and he says, we are a product of our thoughts. What we think, we become. And I was thinking these past 2 weeks, I was thinking fear and worry, and I was probably dumping cortisol and getting into my sympathetic nervous system, and my heart rate was going up and my anxiety level was going up, and I had to just stop and take a minute and breathe and know that none of that makes any positive change in our life. It doesn't make Colleen better. It doesn't change the situation. I thought I would share that with you and invite you to take the advice of Gandhi and just visit where your thoughts are at this moment. Just take a minute and stop and see what's taking the lion's share of your thoughts and your attention today. And maybe if it's something like I was experiencing, just stop. Take this 60 minutes and breathe. Use that breath control to control your thoughts. And let's stay in our parasympathetic nervous system, which is that rest and relaxation, that place where we have control of our mind, where we have control of our thoughts. And if we bring our attention into our breath now and just close your eyes, maybe even bring your hands to heart center for a quick minute and set that as your intention. And say, where am I today? Can I think joy? Can I think peace? And continue to focus on your breath. Bring awareness to what your breath, the sensations that it brings into your body. And let it slowly deepen with each inhale and exhale. And don't let your thoughts take your focus away from your breath. And allow your shoulders to drop away from your ears. And as you inhale, expand your belly. Pull the air all the way up through your lungs into your chest. And as you exhale, reverse that process, squeezing out the breath by pulling your navel into your spine. And scan your body. Make sure you're not holding tension in any of your muscle groups. And if you feel your neck is a little tighter or your thighs, just bring your breath there. It takes 90 seconds, scientists tell us, to reverse the neurochemicals in our brains. So when we dump that cortisol because we're anxious into our brain, we need to deep breathe for at least 90 seconds to start to cleanse our body of that cortisol and to change that neurochemical balance in our brains. So that's what our breath work does. And just imagine bringing a smile into your mind's eye. Just finding peace and joy in this present moment. And let's bring our hands up and over our heads and all the way up. Float open your eyes. Reach up nice and tall, making a nice long spine. And then exhale, bring your hands to cactus. Elbows even with your shoulders. Inhale, lift. Gaze up, nice long spine. Exhale, cactus. Inhale one more time, lift up. Exhale, cactus. Inhale, bring your forearms together, round out your back, broaden your shoulders. Exhale, bring your hands down in prayer, all the way down to your chest, thumb to your chest. Exhale, push through the palms of your hand, bring your forearms back up together so they connect. Good. Let's do that again. Push through your palms, open your elbows, isometric push, 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 push. Feel that pressure in your hands and then come on back up, forearms together. One more. Push, 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 push your hands together. Exhale, forearms together. And then open those arms back up to cactus. Drop that cactus arms down, rotating your shoulders. So now we're getting some rotation in our shoulders and then straight up. Now, if you have problems with your shoulders, maybe you want to close in your arms a little bit, bring them in this way. And maybe all you're going to do is come in and out because this rotation is too much on your shoulders. You feel what is right for your body today. One more time down. We're trying to warm up that shoulder joint and move it in all directions, and then just relax your arms, shake them out. Let's take our head, drop your chin to your chest for a minute, just stretch out the back of your neck. So a few breaths here. Just kind of maneuver your neck a little bit. See where you might be holding tension, just kind of let it go. And gently bring your chin back to your chest and raise your chin back up to neutral. And then continue up with your chin, drop your head all the way back, stretch out the front of your neck. Gaze is up to the ceiling, still nice, long, straight spine. And then relax your chin back to center and drop your ear over to your shoulder. Stretch out the right side of your neck, being mindful to drop that left shoulder away from your ear. And just let gravity do the work. Just kind of warming up our neck. And then come on back up to neutral and try the other side. Left ear. Keeping that right shoulder drop down. And then this time, extend your right arm back, thumb to the earth. Inhale, look up with your chin and bring your thumb, leave your thumb down. Exhale, chin towards your armpit and your thumb up. Inhale, chin up towards the ceiling, thumb down. Exhale, chin down, thumb up. A couple more of these on your breath. Inhale. Exhale. One more. When your head is up, your thumb is down. And then come back to neutral. And let's do that same movement on the other side. Let's drop your right ear again. Extend your left arm, thumb down. Push back with that right arm, that left arm rather. And then as you lift your chin, leave your thumb down. As you bring your chin towards your armpit, rotate your thumb up. And reverse, head up, thumb down. And reverse. Again, chin up, thumb down. One more time. Come back to neutral, shake out. One more time, all the way up. This time, interlock your fingers, point your index fingers up to the ceiling, And just let's get a side body stretch. Keep your ears between your biceps. Keep your sit bones grounded on the mat. And just a nice, gentle side body twist. Engage your core. Come on back up to center. Inhale, lift tall. Exhale, side body. Nice long side body stretch. Keeping those sit bones on the earth, keeping your head between your ears. Your head between your ears. That would be important. Keeping your ears between your biceps. And then come on back up to center. Open your arms, rotate your wrists. Come on down. Let's bring our arms out and just stretch out our wrists a little bit. Gently guiding those fingers of your right hand back. Nice, just a gentle stretch here. And then relax. Try the other side. Gentle stretch. Just stretching that carpal tunnel. And shake it out. To come up to all fours. If you're using blocks, just remove them. And again, check your alignment for all fours. For table, you want to make sure that your hands are underneath your shoulders, fingers are spread apart. Knees are underneath your hips. And you have your gaze is down. You have even weight distribution on all your fingers and then all throughout your hands. And your toes are behind your knees. So you look through your legs, you can't see your toes. And you have a nice, long, neutral spine from your tailbone all the way through the crown of your head. Then inhale, drop your belly. Let's take some cat-cows. Arch your back, lift your chest. Exhale, pull your navel into your spine, head to chin to chest. Round out your back for cat. And a couple of these on your breath. And let's begin to deepen those movements. So take some on the angry cat. Start to take some stretch on your side. Lean over to your left, to your right, and then over to your left. And then maybe sit back towards your heels and drop your forearms to the mat. Engage your core. Spiral your chest forward. And then come up to angry cat, pulling your belly button into your spine. Then shift your hips back towards your heel, forearms to the mat. Bring your chest forward. Come up on the palms of your hand. Lead with your chest into cow. Pull your belly button in. Drop your chin. Shift your hips back. Come through child's pose, forearms on the mat, and just take this nice fluid movement to warm up your spine. And you can add any extra movements that you want. We're just trying to get the synovial fluid moving, getting our joints lubricated, warming up our spine. And then come to stillness. Let this be your last one. Put your toes together, spread your knees, sit your hips back, drop your chest between your thighs, forearms to the mat in child's pose. Stretch those fingers out as far in front of you as you can. Getting a nice long stretch in your upper back. And if it's too much pressure on your knees, just lift up. Lift your hip up or put a blanket underneath your sit bones. Do what is right for your body. And then slowly come up to all fours. Check your alignment. Then extend your right arm out to the side. Thread the needle. Bring that arm behind your left forearm. Drop your shoulder to the mat and your hips back. For thread the needle, we're just stretching out with a slight twist our shoulder and our upper back. Try to relax that right hand to the mat, palm facing up. Inhale, come on back up to all fours. Set up. Inhale, extend that left arm out. Thread the needle so that left arm comes behind your right forearm. Drop your right forearm to the mat and your left shoulder to the mat. Head comes down, hips shift back. And just breathe here. And then slowly unwind and come on back to all fours. Take your right foot, stretch it out behind you. Toes are on the earth, pushing that heel away. Nice neutral spine. Just stretching our calf on our right side. You're pushing away from the earth. Check in with those hands. Stretch, push that heel back. And then release that knee back to the mat. Take your left foot back. Come on the balls of your feet. Push that heel back. Gaze is at the earth, towards your mat. Nice, long, neutral spine. Pushing away from the earth with your hands. Feel the stretch in that left calf. And come on back. Now when you're ready, extend that right foot out. You can leave the heel pushing back, or you can point your toe. I like to keep my heel pushing back and my hip facing towards the earth. And raise your left hand, push away from the earth with your right hand. Gaze is still at the mat for spinal balance. Push, push, push. Let those fingers reach as far in front of you as you can. And then come back to the mat. Take a minute. Maybe move from side to side a little. Get set up on the other side. Ready? Inhale, push that left foot back. Point your toe or heel, whatever feels comfortable for you. And when you're ready, extend that right arm straight forward. Gaze is at the mat. Nice long spine. And then release that to the mat. Open your knees, toes together, drop your hips back. Child's pose. And feel the peace in this place right now. This is your resting pose. You're always welcome to take this posture anytime during your practice. Check in with your thoughts. See what's going on in your mind. Are you staying focused on your breath? Inhale. Exhale. Slowly come on back up to all fours. One more posture in this position. So we're going to take that spinal balance again. This time we're going to bring our knee to our elbow. So we're going to extend our right foot and our left hand. When and if you feel this is in your practice, just bring your elbow to your knee and then out again. Inhale. Exhale. Take it as gently as you can. One more. bring that knee back to the earth. And get ready to set up on the other side. You decide where you are in the practice today. You can even just stay here if that's where you need to be today. You can be here, or you can take the knee to the elbow. Ready? Here we go. Take your spinal balance. One more. And come on back. Open your knees. Drop your hips back for child's pose. Good work. Two more breaths here. And try to sink your hips even further back. Spread your arms forward. As a matter of fact, come up on your knees and drop your forearms to the mat and extend them in front of you as far as you can. This is puppy pose. Kind of a version of child's pose. A little deeper stretch in your heart and in your upper body. And then slowly come up, walk your hands back. Curl your toes under. Palms, one handprint forward. Sink your hips back, and then lift your hips up and back for down dog. So your feet are apart. Your heels are pulling down towards the mat. Your hips are pushing back. Your biceps are by your ears. And your gaze is towards your shins. So your head, your cervical spine is neutral. And you're pushing back on your hips. Your fingers are spread. And then engage your core. Bring your shins parallel to the mat as you shift your shoulders forward. Come back up. Drop your head. Push back with your hands, heels towards the mat. Engage your core, shift forward, shins parallel to the mat. Engage your core, come on back up, hips back. I'm starting to build some heat now. Push those hips back, stretching in our hamstrings, in our calves. Maybe walk your dog, bend your knees. Stretch out your calves and your hamstrings. And then come to stillness. One more time, shins parallel to the mat as you shift your chest forward. Drop your knees all the way. Then your hips, your belly, and your chest. Bring your forearms to the mat, close to your body. Head to the mat, and then lift up for cobra. Elbows are under your shoulders. And breathe. Nice and tall, little baby back bend here. Bring your head to the mat, shoulders to your sides, elbows in, hips up and back. Curl your toes, come all the way up into down dog. Gaze between your hands and then walk your fingers or your feet to your hands. Bring them together. Engage your core and come all the way up. Shake out. And let's just do some standing poses for a minute. Let's see where our balance is today. So lift your toes. Get your feet hips distance apart. Lift your toes. See where your balance is. Get rooted on your mat, and then drop your toes back onto the mat. Engage your core. Lift your spine nice and long. Shoulders are hugging your spine and down your back. Chin is tucked back so that your ears are over your shoulders. And you feel your thighs spiraling in, but you're not locking your knees. Just take some breaths here. Check in with your mind again. Are you thinking, God, I'm so tired. That was a lot of work being upside down that long. Control those thoughts. Find ease in this practice. Find joy in this practice. Tune into your breath. Let your breath guide your body and your mind. Maybe even close your eyes for a minute. And then when you're ready, begin to kickstand that right foot as you shift your weight to your left and try to find your tree. So your drishti, your gaze is going to be a couple feet in front of you, something that's not moving. Then you're going to lift out of your standing leg, raise that right foot, and decide where you're going to take your tree today. No judgment, don't let your mind take over. And then slowly bring that foot back down to the earth. And don't worry if you fall out, just pick yourself up. You can use the wall for support if that is handy to you so that you feel stable, whatever you need to do to feel more secure. Or the back of the chair. So again, get yourself lined up. Check in with your posture. Make sure you don't have that turkey neck sticking out. Nice. And then when you're ready, set your drishti and begin to raise that left foot. Focus on your breath. Find strength and grounding in this pose. And then come down. And notice the difference between each side. Just observe it. Be kind to yourself. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, bring those fingers, interlock those fingers, bring those index fingers together again, biceps by your ears. And then let's take a side stretch in the standing posture. This is called crescent moon. Keep those shoulders and those hips facing me. And you're stretching out the left side of your body. Inhale, come on up. Take a breath here. Inhale, lift tall. Exhale. Let's take it on the other side. And come back up. And then open your arms. And a few weeks ago, we broke down sun salutations. So if you were in class with me, you know there were a couple of options. So we're going to take a couple of, we're going to go over that one more time. And we're going to take a couple of sets of sun salutations. So let's raise our arms up nice and tall. We're nice and rooted. Inhale, hands to heart center. Bend your knees. And you might want to grab your blocks so you have them handy and come down, forward fold. Have your blocks on either side of your feet in the front of you. And you can hold on to the tops of your blocks. If you don't have blocks, if you have an ottoman or something that's in front of you, you can hang on to that. And then just inhale, lift your spine long, pull your knees back with a straight spine for a half lift. Head gaze is still down towards the earth. Exhale, bend your knees, drop your head down towards your knees. Just let your head hang. Check in with your feet. Make sure the weight is evenly distributed. You're not leaning forward or backward. You have an even balance. Just let your head hang. Maybe even bring your elbows, hands crossed in your elbows. Sway side to side, drop your head, nod yes and no. And then move the blocks out of the way. Bring your hands back to the mat. Plant them on the mat. step one foot back, then the other. Now, you can come into plank. Plank is pushing out with your heels, dropping your belly, but holding a long spine, broadening your shoulders, or if that's too much, come to your knees. Let me take it on the side so you can see me better. So if plank is too much, just come here to half plank. But engage your core, push away from the mat, and then slowly lower your hips, and then your belly, and then down to your chest. Hands in front of you, forearms out, come into cobra. Exhale, bring your hands back to your chest, keep your elbows tucked to your side, come push your hips up and back, curl your toes, come up to down dog. Drop your head. 2 breaths here. Look between your hands, walk your feet to meet your hands. And then come up, straight spine, all the way up. Hands to heart center. That's 1. So let's start again. Ready? You're at the front top of your mat. Inhale up. We're building heat. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, forward fold. Drop your hands either to the blocks or to the mat. Any height on the block that's good for you. Inhale, straighten your knees, long back. You can have your blocks here for half lift. Exhale, bend your knees, plant your hands, 1 foot, then the other. You can come into plank or half plank. Lower down, hips, belly, chest, chin. Hands to your chest, bring them out, your forearms out, come up to cobra. Take a breath. Head to the mat, hands to your chest, push up. Hips back, curl your toes, down dog. Nice fluid vinyasa flow, we call it. Push your hips back. Keep your biceps by your ears. Keep sinking those sit bones back. Bend your knees, gaze forward. Walk your hands to meet your feet to meet your hands all the way up. Hands to heart center. How you doing? You feel your heart beating? Yeah, we're getting circulation going. Ready? Let's do it again. Inhale up. Hands to heart center. Inhale, stay right here. Exhale, bend your knees, forward fold. Drop your head. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant your hands. Step 1 foot, then the other. You're either in plank or half plank. Then come down, belly, hips, belly, chest, chin, forehead. Push your hands out, your forearms out. Come to cobra. 2 breaths here. Head to the mat, hands to your chest. Push your hips up and back. Curl your toes straight up to down dog. Push back. Bring your knees to the mat. Sit back, widen your stance, and come back into child's pose. So this is a gentle class. We want to take it easy. In a vinyasa flow class, you would do a series of these just to warm up your body, because sun salutations warm up every part of your body, move your body in all directions. It also brings heat, it brings circulation, so it's a really good way to warm up the body. So, but we're going to take it slow because we're in a gentle class. And then we're going to come up and we're going to do 2 more. Ready? Curl your toes, push up to your down dog. Check in with your posture. Look between your hands. You can bend your knees, tense your fingers, walk your hands up, straight spine, hinge at your hips, come all the way up. Take a minute here, hands to heart center. Take a breath or two here. Inhale up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, tall. Exhale, bend your knees forward, fold all the way down to the mat. Drop your head. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant your hands. Walk back 1 foot at a time. If you're in plank, engage your core, straight spine, push your heel back. Drop your knees. Then roll over your thighs, hips, belly, chest, forehead. Forearms out in front of you to cobra. Take a minute here. Bring your head to the mat. Bring your hands to your chest. Lift your hips up and back. Curl your toes. Down dog. Couple breaths here. And come back to your knees. This time, come all the way up on your knees. Take your right foot forward. This way. Bring your blocks with you. Right foot forward. Blocks on either side of your right foot. And we're going to stretch out that psoas on our right side. I'm sorry. Step your left foot forward. I'm doing it opposite you now. Whatever foot you have forward is fine. I changed positions and I messed you all up. Sorry. Just make sure your front foot, your knee is over your ankle. And you're sinking into that back hip flexor because we're getting a nice long stretch in that back. So as muscle, and we want to keep our shoulders away from our ears. Nice long back. And then slowly begin to sink that hip back, straighten that front leg, pull that toe up to the ceiling and stretch out your hamstring. Just breathe here. Feel the stretch in your hamstring and in your glutes. Get that toe coming up to the ceiling. And then sink that foot back in front of you and just rotate, get that fluid movement back and forward. Check in with those shoulders. Make sure they're dropped away from your ears. And then come back. And forward. Gentle stretch. Stay wherever you need to for as long as you need to. If you need a longer time in the hamstring stretch, stay there. Your body's your teacher. One more time. Just be mindful to protect that front knee by keeping it over your ankle. So when you look over your front knee, you should see your toes. And then gently come back. And bring that knee all the way back to your up in a nice tall standing kneeling position. Then come step the other foot forward. Again, check in with your alignment. Front knee over ankle. Back foot behind your bent knee. Your kneeling knee. And then nice long spine. Sinking in, stretching the psoas on the other side. Breathe here, just breathe here. Find the ease as much as you can. Use your breath to release any tension. And then slowly pull your hips back. Lift that front toe. Stretch out that hamstring. And then find that movement on your breath, forward and back, stretching out the hamstring and then the psoas. Keeping the integrity of your spine. And as you stretch out your hamstring, you can hinge at your hips and lean forward to get a deeper stretch. Use your blocks for support. Last one. And then come all the way up. And then find yourself on your side. We're coming down to our mat. So sit sideways on your mat. Nice and tall, Dandasana. Staff pose, right? We're sitting up nice and tall. And then use your core and begin to lower down. And then stretch your arms out over your head. Nice, long, full body stretch. Tuck those shoulder blades underneath your back. And then open your arms to cactus. Just breathe here for a minute. And bend your knees. Bring your heels close to your body. And just try to find softness in this pose. Your knees are bent. Your shoulders are tucked underneath your back, hugging your spine. Now, you have two choices. You can put a block underneath your sacrum, or you can make your hand like a V, I mean a triangle like this, and put it underneath your back so that that triangular shape that you made supports your sacrum. It's around your sacrum. Then engage your core and lift your feet straight up. Bring your feet up the wall. And just breathe here. And flex your toes and point your toes. Just kind of pumping that calf muscle, which we consider our second heart. So as we pump it, we're circulating the blood back to our heart. It's all good stuff. And maybe circle your ankles one way and then the other. So here's what I want you to do next. Engage your core. And I want you to pull your right knee in towards your chest as you bring your left leg straight down towards the mat. Then engage your core. Lift that left foot straight up as you bend that left knee towards your chest. Right leg is straight, and that right leg heel starts to head towards the mat. You're using your core. Don't let it hit the ground. And then come straight back up and switch legs. Slowly bring that left heel towards the mat using your core. Don't let it go down. Let it touch. Come all the way back up, straight leg. Switch your legs. Left knee is bent. Right leg is straight. Right leg, straight leg comes towards the mat using your core. Come straight back up. Couple more of these on your breath. Nice and slow using your breath. Never letting that straight leg touch the ground. Always keeping it a few inches off the mat. Doing some core work. Straight up. Two more. Use your breath to allow you to find ease in this posture. Use your core. Last one. All the way up. Bend your knees into your chest. Release your hands. Give your knees a big hug. And just roll around on your lower back, giving it a little massage. And let's just do a bridge. So take the block Grab my block, put it between your thighs. If you don't have a block, just grab a pillow or something that just reminds you to keep those knees pressing toward each other. And then you want to bring your heels as close to your bottom as you can. Engage check your shoulder blades that they're tucked underneath your spine, underneath your back, hugging your spine. And then begin to peel your pubic bone up, then your hips, and come all the way up for a bridge. Opening your chest, pushing up your hip bones, pushing those thighs in, and then slowly come down. Flatten your back. And take a breath. Ready? Push into the earth. Lift that pubic bone, then your hip bone, then your rib cage. Hips all the way up, shining to the ceiling. Squeezing those glutes, squeezing those thighs. This is bridge. Slowly come down. Flatten your back. Take a breath, and here we go again. Ready? Inhale, lift. Push up through your feet. Squeeze your glutes. And down. One more, last one. Push up. Shine those headlights to the ceiling. And then slowly come down. Release the block or pillow, whatever you have between your thighs. Widen your stance on your mat and just windshield wiper your knees so that you can stretch out your lower back. And then slowly bring them into your chest. Give a nice big hug one more time. And then if you have a strap, you can grab hold of the strap, wrap it around your right leg. Right foot, I'm sorry. And just, you can leave your left knee bent in, or you can straighten it. Get a little stretch. And then slowly bring the strap into your right hand and just allow that leg to flop open to the right. You can put your block underneath your right ankle or a pillow or the ottoman, but try to keep both sit bones on the earth. Keep your shoulders on the earth. And keep that left knee pointing straight to the ceiling. Just a nice stretch on your inner thigh on your right side. Relax that glutes, relax your quads. Just feel the stretch. And then inhale, slowly lift it back up to center. Switch hands with the strap. Just let it cross the midline, just a smidgen to stretch out that IT band on the outside of your right leg. And then slowly bring it back up to center. Bend that right knee, drop that foot to the mat, change feet, put the strap. You can always use the tie of a bathrobe or a scarf or a man's tie. And let's just start the stretch on your left side. You can leave that right knee bent. Make sure that your shoulders stay on the earth. Or you can straighten that right leg. And then when you're ready, use your breath. Keep both sit bones on the earth. Start to extend that left foot. And like I said, you can always put a block underneath your calf or your ankle or your thigh. But try to take it as far as you can without lifting your sit bones. So if that means just staying here, then stay there. You just want the stretch in your inner thigh. Breathe. And then slowly bring that back up to center. Switch hands with the strap. And then gently guide it across the midline, keeping your shoulders on the mat, stretching out that IT band. And then slowly bring it back to center. And take whatever final posture you need before you settle into Shavasana. So you can massage your hips one more time. And then when you're ready, just gently stretch out your legs. Stretch out your arms on your side. Just let your heels flop. Let your toes flop side to side. Let your shoulders just sink into the mat. Feel like you just are melting into the mat. And begin to bring your focus back to your breath. Just check in with your body. See where you need to send your breath to soften it, to balance out that mind-body connection. You know that this is the place we want to be. We want to be deeply rooted into our parasympathetic nervous system so that we can rest and digest and our body can heal and we can feel and experience peace and joy. And just ask yourself in this moment, where are my thoughts now? Where is my focus? Am I able to control my thoughts by focusing on my breath? If not, think about what's keeping you from controlling those thoughts. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, deepen. Inhale, joy. Exhale, fear and worry. And as you continue to breathe, I just want to share with you a few tools that will help you in those moments when worry or fear overtake you. First, I would suggest that you or invite you to just say stop. Think stop when that out of control train of wild thoughts consume you. Just think stop and breathe. And as you focus on your breath, you will give distance from your thoughts. And when you gain distance, you have a different and better perspective and can manage them better. And as I said before, when we dump cortisol from our sympathetic nervous system, we have to breathe deeply for at least 90 seconds to start to change that neurochemical balance. So it's a physiological thing that we have control over. And when we control our breath, we can control our mind. Inhale. Exhale. Another way to control our thoughts is to stay in the present moment. Because when we ruminate on the past, which by the way we have no power to change, or when we project into the future, which we cannot possibly predict, that's a sure way to get lost in our thoughts and lose control of our mind. So ask yourself, what can I do right now to change how I feel? So once you stop and begin to breathe, you focus on that present moment and say, what can I do to change how I feel? Inhale. Exhale. Another helpful tool is to observe your thoughts without judgment. So often we think something and then it kicks in a whole bunch of emotional responses that are unproductive and that take us down a path that distracts us from the present moment. So just don't judge your thoughts. Don't be upset with yourself for thinking some way or another. Just acknowledge them. Stay present. Stay focused on your breath. And after you've calmed yourself, you've stopped the crazy train of thoughts, then maybe another tool to help you control those runaway thoughts is to take action. So sometimes when we sit on a thought and it gets the best of us and occupies all our attention, we get into a cycle that we can't break. But if we make a plan to address it, then we can have control of our thoughts. So decide what's in your control so that you can make that plan and what's not. So for me, worrying about my daughter, I had no control over her healing or her well-being. So that was unproductive learning. So the plan that I made for myself was to stay distracted, to stay in touch with her, and then do what I had to do in my control. Keep myself busy so that I could support her. Inhale. Exhale. And lastly, it's so important to put ourselves in a positive and safe environment so that we don't experience stress or anxiety. The outside world can affect our inner being. So maybe play music, soothing music that calms your spirit. Maybe light a candle. Maybe take a walk in nature. Put yourself in a place where you feel at peace, relaxed, and calm. And slowly begin to make your way onto your side. Bring some awareness back into the room. Take your time. And just find your way into a fetal position. Knees tucked into your chest. And maybe take one more assessment of where you are right now. You feel calm and at peace. And maybe revisit Gandhi's quote that we are a product of our thoughts. Whatever we think, we become. So choose to think positive thoughts. Choose to think joy. Choose to think peace. Make your way to a seated position. Eyes still closed, hands at heart center. And as always, I honor each and every one of you. I thank you for sharing your practice with me today. Have a fabulous week. I wish you blessings and gentle hugs. Namaste.